Hey, good evening, my friends. How are you? Let me end this Instagram live stream. Well, I don't know. I'm trying to end the Instagram, but I'm afraid. No, I don't want to end the whole stream. I'm trying to end the Instagram feed because, I mean, if I do this, well, I think I'm committed at this point, to be honest with you. Paul, good evening. Hello, Cliff. How are you? Greg, always a pleasure, buddy. TJ, Amy got her ham. Matt, good evening. Robert, John, you ready to be my official timekeeper tonight? All right, I'm going to change the framing, which will make it look a little bit weird on. Okay, I'm experimenting again with going to Instagram as well. So I don't know. We'll see. Hey, Bernie, good evening. Thank you, Roger. I appreciate that. It was nice to finally put some venison in the freezer. Eric's ready for spring already. Brian, good evening. Captain Jim, how are you? Renee, always a pleasure. Johnny Bowler, good evening, buddy. How are you? Boy, if I could zoom in on my shot, I could. There we go. Boom. There. I think I got rid of it. So I can go back to my regular framing. It's fun playing with all this stuff. Might be frustrating for you, but it's fun for me. Ed, good evening, buddy. How are you? The YouTube video is vertical. YouTube should be. You say it's vertical. Well, I wonder if my morning video vertical too. Oh, it is. Yeah. Wednesday Night Live. Well, if you go to, I can get rid of that one. There's two YouTube feeds right now. One of them has only 2 people watching, and it looks fine. The other one looks like Pupola. So, and I don't know how to get rid of it. Back out of YouTube, go back to the home screen and get into the other one, Larry. Mickey, good evening. Stephen, how are you? Hello, Jim. How are things down south? Bob, always a pleasure. Jeff, nice to have you along with us. Back out, Craig. Go to my main YouTube page, and you'll see that there are actually 2 YouTube feeds right now. How it got that way, I have no idea. You'll see there are 2 YouTube feeds, both of them labeled Wednesday Night Live on 2:10. It should be 12:10. And go to the other one. I think what I'll do when I'm done is I'll delete those anyway. So get out of YouTube, come over to Facebook. Never thought I'd say that. Come over to Facebook. Dan, good evening. Has got someone to help send stuff. What does that mean, Chris? Looking forward to hearing the story about my doe hunt. It was great. Johnny's cold and tired and ready for spring. It's not going to happen for a while. Jeff, good evening. Tony says, stay warm. I'm not going anywhere tonight, Tony. I'm staying right here in this house, in this office. In fact, I might even turn the heater on at my feet. Good point, Paul. 11 more days until the days start getting longer. James, good evening. Nick, thanks for sticking with me. I know last week things got a little crazy for you. So Joe is watching the feed on YouTube that looks good. Is this Corey? Is this Corey himself? Corey, how you doing, buddy? How you feeling? Don't ask me how are you. Don't ask me how I am, Corey. How are you feeling? Hope you're doing better, buddy. John, sorry I missed the last few Mike Avery lives. I did watch the recordings. I won't miss a show. No deer, but my outdoor. But so far, my first outdoor bear. Hey, Michelle. How are you, my dear Randy? Mad Jack. Jerry says, looks good in Algonac. Julie, good evening. Bernie says he thinks he's plowed more snow in the last couple of days than he has the last couple of years. Tommy, good evening. Larry says, yes, find the good one on YouTube. There are 2 feeds right now on YouTube. And I realized when I set it up that in my settings here, it actually gave me the option of going to both formats. I will keep that in mind, and I will go back for future formats. I tell you, it's getting tricky when I start streaming to Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram, and everybody wants something a little bit different. Little windy. I had Michelle convinced we need a bigger TV to see you. Go back to the other feed then, Craig. Go back to the other one. How far was the shot on the doe? How far did she go? I'll come back to that. Been getting good walleye hits at the mouth of the river leading into the lake where I work. Tell me more. Tell me more. Tim, good evening. How are you? TJ's on his way to Tennessee. Bill, good evening, buddy. How are you? Thank you, Mike. Johnny says, TJ, you need to be in the plow truck tonight. Hope I'm sorry to hear that, Hope, but please don't spam my page. Gigi's birthday. Happy birthday. It's you, Corey, and you're alive. You're doing much better. Amen. Thank you, God, for that. Brent, good evening, buddy. How are you? Get out the wallet either way. Shanny's out on Grand Lake. Who am I hosting on my show? Let's not get too far ahead of ourselves here, Cap. Oh, you saw your first bear. Excellent. Joey, how have you been, Joey? I miss talking to you. Nice to have you along with us tonight. Steve shot a buck on the 29th. I shot the doe on Friday, the opening day of the muzzleloader season. All right, so a lot of people are asking. So let me go back to the story here. In Michigan, we have a muzzleloader season. It starts December 5th. Now, the problem with Michigan's it's not a problem. The interesting thing with Michigan's muzzleloader season is in the lower peninsula, you can use any gun that you could use for the regular firearm deer season, the rifle season. In my case, I hunt with a Brenton 350 Legend on an AR-15 platform with a suppressor. So it does not look like a traditional standard muzzleloader, but it's completely legal. So I went out to my buddy Scott Gatz's place. Now, Scott is a guy who has been extremely generous with allowing me access to his property. One of my grandsons, Carter, shot a doe there during the youth hunt a couple of years ago. Another one of my grandsons, Trent, who shot a doe tonight out at the lease property. Trent shot his first turkey there last spring. And it became very clear to me that I was not going to be able to shoot a deer on the leased property. So I knew I had to make a jump. So I texted my buddy Scott Gatz and I said, do you have any does over there that want to die? Do you have a doe over there that wants to die? And he said, absolutely. When do you want to come out? He said, why don't you come out tonight? And this was the opening day of the muzzleloader season. I'm like, yeah, okay, I'll be there. So I'm hunting over a food plot. And this is what really got my attention and made me realize what food plots can do. I was hunting over a food plot with radishes and turnip. And Scott told me that once it got cold and froze, the deer were pouring into these turnips like I had seen on videos and TV hunting shows. And they were. I mean, they were coming into this food plot. They were running. Adult does are running into the food plot like fawns. They get there and they paw at the ground and they tear up these turnips and they walk around with turnip greens hanging out of their mouth. It's quite a sight to see. I'd never seen anything like it before in person. So I let the first couple of animals that came in were fawns, then some does and fawns, and I was really kind of holding out for a big doe. After sitting there about an hour and a half, it's starting to get dark. Several big does and a couple of fawns wandered into the food plot, ran into the food plot. It was about a 40-yard shot. She's broadside. I waited for her to stop. I put the crosshairs on her shoulder, squeezed the trigger. She reared up on her hind feet. Her left leg was flopping because I broke that shoulder, and she took off. I thought, ooh, it makes me nervous when I don't drop them on the spot or see them drop. Texted Scott and said, I shot one. I didn't drop her on the spot. I'm going to go check. So I go over to the spot where I shot her, and it was, I wish I could show you. It was one of those blood trails that Stevie Wonder could follow, especially in the snow. She went about 40 yards. Looking at it, I took her heart out. I took half of her heart out. So it was a good, clean, quick, humane killing shot. I'm very impressed with that 350 Legend, that Brenton. I've had nothing but good luck with that. The suppressor was nice and quiet. Scott's dog didn't even bark because he didn't hear a shot in the field right behind the house. So good, clean shot, excellent blood trail, didn't go far. And now I've got some venison for the freezer, so I'm happy as can be. TJ, my guys are recovering from me this weekend. A few days away, the truck won't hurt. Away from the truck won't hurt. Martin, good evening. Hey, Jim, how you doing, buddy? Nice to have you along with us. Please do that, Chris. Send me a picture. John, good evening. How are you? Roger's already been out ice fishing. Tim says, the video looks great tonight. The white balance is great. Thank you for that, Tim. I appreciate it. As you know, I continue to experiment. Turns out it was a frame rate problem. That's why my video was glitchy before. I was trying to live stream at 60 frames a second. And my system and camera wanted 30 frames a second. I switched it to 30 frames, and you can see how smooth it is now. There's no glitching at all. Gary says, good evening, Mike Wagner Fishing. Kathy, Amy Trotter's mama. How are you, Kathy? Nice to have you along with us. Kathy, will you be enjoying any of that Michigan brand ham that Amy just sent me a picture of? TJ Huey, one of our friends here on Wednesday Night Live, and obviously a big fan of Amy. Last week, he said, I want to send Amy Trotter a ham. So TJ got in touch with Nick, paid to have Nick send Amy a ham, and Amy just sent me a picture of it. The hams that I buy from Michigan brand are like football size. This thing is like twice that. Amy and her family are going to be eating on this ham for months. So hopefully, Kathy, you will get some of that. And TJ Huey, Amy says, thank you very much. That was a wonderful thing to do. Oh, James, you got a show doe on Friday too. Huge, biggest doe I've ever taken. Nice. Jim Felgenauer, good friend of mine, good guy. 2 deer this year so far with the 350 Legend, 185, 160 yards. Neither one took a step. That 350 is really an interesting caliber. My friend Paul Phillips, who is a ballistics expert and an extreme long-range shooter, loves his 350 Legend. He's shooting Bear Creek ammo out of it, and he has it dialed in out to 300 yards. Now, this Phillips. He's got it dialed in out to 300 yards. TJ saw 14 deer last night, just didn't want to shoot. Jerry, good evening. How are you? Thank you, Brent. How you doing, buddy? Thank you, Larry. Emil Rousseau, our friend from the Lumberjack Restaurant. By the way, Emil, let's after the first, let's do a Wednesday night live sometime. Wednesday night live sometime at the Lumberjack. Tonight was your last hunt, 5:05. She came out. I took the shot, just left the property with her. Finally, nice. Nice, Emil. Congrats. Venison for the freezer. John Sullivan of Lure Lipstick, lurelipstick.com. Thank you, John. Appreciate that. Paul is congratulating Emil. There we go. Amy Trotter, our very good friend, formerly of MUCC, Michigan United Conservation Clubs. I'm still waiting to see who Amy ends up with. Whatever group ends up with Amy Trotter is going to be better off for it because she is an amazing, intelligent, passionate, dedicated conservationist. She said, I got a beautiful Michigan brand ham delivered yesterday. Thank you to TJ, Mike, and Nick Grillo. Now, Amy is no longer with MUCC. I continue to work with MUCC, and I am committed to my partnership with MUCC. It was a surprise, and I'll be honest, a disappointment when I got the word about Amy, but I am still committed to the cause and committed to the organization that is MUCC, mucc.org. Steve says ice in Grand Rapids area is still not safe, but it will be soon. Mike, shot a doe 2 weeks before gun season. I'm the only one that eats venison in the house. I did hunt for a buck during gun season, no success. I think I'm done till next year. Emil says my only harvest this year. I think I've probably got 1 or 2 more hunts in me. We'll see. John, am I going to be at the Ultimate Fishing Show? I don't know, John. I don't know. It's one of those shows that I try to make, but sometimes things come up and get in the way, but I probably will be there. I will definitely be at Outdoorama, also at the Suburban Collection Showplace. That's a weird name for a venue, isn't it? I like the old Novi Expo Center name better. I will be at the Outdoorama show because that coincides with MUCC's convention, and Steve Wyndham has asked me to be a part of that convention in some way. He won't give me details. So I will be at Outdoorama for sure. Paul says, hi, Amy. Kathy says, I hope I get some of that Michigan brand ham. Take your boat out of the water, Joe? I think so. You got to be careful how you say this, Corey, because Corey says, we found out my body can't process certain narcotics. Long story short, darn near OD'd, added 2 more emergency departments. Oh, boy. Here's what happened, and I'm not going to give a lot of details, but Corey Phillips, our friend, had surgery. And the drugs they gave him after the surgery, he didn't like. He had a reaction to them. That's what he's talking about. Legal drugs. Matt, Corey Phillips, glad you're doing better, buddy. So am I. Matt, do you know Corey? Everybody loves Amy. Jim, tomorrow morning I'll be smoking 4 pounds of honey barbecue snack sticks for Christmas gifts. Clinton, I'm going to delete that. It's if your family is on hard time, Clinton, I'm sorry to hear that. God bless you. There are plenty of outlets out there where your family can get help. But please, and I don't want to sound cold-hearted, please don't come to my Facebook page and make a plea for people to help you out, because I got to be honest with you, we don't know if you're legit or not. And again, that sounds cold-hearted. I don't mean to be, but this is not the venue to do that. Thank you, Mike. Appreciate that. Johnny Craves, Uncle Johnny. Uncle Johnny and Aunt Debbie are celebrating an anniversary today. If you want to see 2 people that illustrate, that typify, that exemplify a wonderful lifetime partnership and marriage, look at Uncle Johnny and Aunt Debbie. They have a beautiful, loving, most of the time, relationship. except when Deb gets mad at John. So congrats. Happy anniversary to you guys. Dave, good evening. Tickets for what are half off right now, Paul? Help me out. Tylenol and Motrin. You can't, it's safe there. Joe checking in from GermFest. Bob got his ham today as Michigan brand ham, and we are going to give away a Michigan brand ham here in just a few minutes. I suspect Nick Grillo is standing by. Tommy, let me know if you are, Nick. Had an 8-point show up on the cam while I was out plowing snow, not honey. That seems to be the way it goes. Absolutely not when you're not there. Tim, didn't know about this. 22-year-old and 13-year-old that fell through the ice and drowned in Kalkaska this week. Well, the 13-year-old, he's just a kid. What does he know? But the 22-year, listen, it's a terrible tragedy, but it's pretty damned early to be out on the ice. And if you walk out on the ice with a spud and chunk the ice every few feet, you're right. It's a terrible tragedy. Terrible. Prayers for the family. Suburban Showplace is getting a new name January 1st, the Vibe Credit Union Showplace. Well, that's not much better, is it, Cliff? The Vibe Credit Union Showplace. John, I support the late season. Simply call out the late firearm season. By the way, good show with Richard Smith. He would make a wonderful NRC commissioner. Yeah, but the NRC doesn't think so. And I agree. And I suspect that eventually the muzzleloader season name will get changed to a different name. But the problem is legally as a muzzleloader season. So it's not just a matter of going into a Word file, doing an edit, and changing the name of the season. They have to go through some bureaucratic and procedural hoops. They have to jump through some of those hoops to change the name. That's why it hasn't happened yet, but I suspect that it will. Matt says, happy anniversary. Oh, yes. Matt knows Corey. His brother-in-law is my nephew by marriage. We fish together. Excellent. I understand, Joe. I understand, and God bless you for that. But this is not the venue. This is not the venue. Most of the time. A lot of people wishing you happy anniversary. I don't want to go there, Emil. I don't want to go there. And again, there are plenty of places that can offer help. Churches will offer help. Community groups will offer help. I don't want my Facebook page, because this is the second one that showed up tonight, which is why I'm thinking I'm getting scammed here. With two different names. I don't want my Facebook page to turn into a place where people can go and solicit money and help, because we don't know who they are. And I can't vouch for these people, so I'm not going to ask you, my friends, to get involved and help out. It may be cold, but Craig's freezer's looking good. Otto, how are things in Petoskey? Oh, Ed got a truck trolley in his dad's truck Saturday. Very easy. Toss the old man stick. Emil says agreed. All right, so we're going to give away a Michigan brand ham. Not the massive ham that TJ Huey sent to Amy Trotter, but a very nice football-sized ham that actually there's on those for Thanksgiving. We cut the ham in half, and we ate half the ham for Thanksgiving. We didn't even eat the whole ham. Here's how this works. And don't make your comments now. Those of you who know where I'm going, don't jump the gun here. When I get through making the explanation, Mansalona, Otto, I thought you were in Petoskey. I'm going to open up for comments, and you make your comment on why you want to win a Michigan brand ham for the holidays. Make your comments clever. Make them funny. Again, I'm gonna sound like a hard rear end, a hard guy here, but I don't mean to be. Please don't post a comment that your family is needy and needs a ham, or you're going to give the ham to a needy family, because that is a wonderful thing for you to do. And if you decide you want to give your ham to a needy family, God bless you. But please don't make that your comment, because that's very, very hard for Nick to ignore. Adam, good evening. How are you? Jim, nice to have you along with us. Losing weight. Wow, you see this thing hanging off? You think I'm losing weight because you see that hanging down there? Yeah, I know. It drives me crazy. Drives me crazy too. Of course you can comment from Arizona. So starting right now, make your comments on why you want to win a Michigan brand ham for the holidays. Make your comments funny, make them witty, make them whatever. And Nick Grillo, our good friend from Michigan brand, is standing by, and he's looking at the comments 2 minutes from when I made the first buzzer. Tommy says he wants a Michigan brand ham. Jim says he wants a Michigan brand ham. Amy says she wants a Michigan brand ham. Ooh, that's a good one, Amy. That's a good one. If I was picking the winner, Amy, you'd be right there in the running. Captain Jim wants a Michigan brand ham. Where'd we go? Jerry wants one. TJ wants one. Bernie, well, Johnny Bowler wants one. No, we're not going to pick Kathy. The only reason we're not going to pick Kathy is Amy's mother. And if you could see the size of the ham that TJ sent to Amy, Kathy's going to be getting a lot of ham. Trust me on this one. Sorry, Kathy. John Miller wants one. Cliff wants a ham. We got some good comments tonight. Ed says, well, my family isn't needy. My wife says I am. Uncle Johnny, dear Nick, would love a ham to feed our growing fam. Happy holidays to all Mike's listeners and a prosperous new year. Cindy would love to be considered for a ham. Jim wants one because Pennsylvania brand ham stinks. 1 minute. Make your comments 1 minute on why you want to win a Michigan brand ham for the holidays. Roger. Corey, because he's had a rough go of it lately. No, Bob, I should have mentioned this. If you have won a Michigan brand ham in the last year, I'm going to ask you not to enter. So that's why. 30 seconds. I should have mentioned that, Bob. My bad. 30 seconds on the Michigan brand ham for the holidays. Thomas wants one. John wants one. James wants one. Joe wants one. 20 seconds on the Michigan brand ham. John Callison, are you standing by? Are you ready? Bob wants one. Matt Schock wants one. Matt's on the radio show this week. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. My cousin Deb, 3, 2, 1. That one wasn't too bad. Kathy says she's okay with that. John Callison, what was my time? Not bad at all. Man, I'm actually pretty proud of myself. Jim says, I'll cheap. Just order one. No free lunches. Here comes the buzzer, and it was a darn good buzzer. What do you think, Tracy? You like that buzzer? 36. It was longer than 36. Get out of here, Brent. Impressive. Indeed, it was. Oh, John Callison, you're fired. I am so sick of you, Callison. John Callison says it was 30.78 seconds. Bob Keatsman said it was 15 seconds. Callison, I'm telling you, you got one more week. You got one more week, John Callison. And then I'm going to fire you. Because I just think that was longer than 30 seconds. It was a pretty good buzzer, and I think it was longer than 30 seconds. Gary Sack is tonight's winner. Gary Sack. Can somebody go back and find Gary's comment, and then we can post it? Because I'd like to know what Gary said, but I can't go back and take a look at it. So Gary Sack, congrats on winning. Jim's wife says, what the hell is that? There you go, Craig. 78.3 seconds. I feel that's more accurate. Brent, don't be. Yeah, I am getting better. John Callison says, I do the same time every week. Same thing every time. But that's no excuse, John. John, accuracy and truth are no excuse. Good buzzer. Good buzzer. Johnny Bowler says, congrats. A lot of people congratulating Gary. Okay. Hey, Ross. How you doing, buddy? If good point, Jeff. Any more hot air on the buzzer, the EPA is going to be looking for me. I thought that was an outstanding buzzer tonight, and I take offense that John Callison said it was only 30 seconds and change, because I feel it was much longer. If you do not win a Michigan brand ham for the holidays on Wednesday Night Live, and we will give one away every Wednesday night through the first of the year. The one caveat, Nick, if you're standing by, I am not doing a Wednesday Night Live on Christmas Eve. Be in church that night. Oh, there's Trent's dough. Nice job, buddy. Nice job. That's a nice dough. Good deal. Boy, the Avery family's got some venison this year. Okay, so if you don't win a Michigan brand ham, this is what Gary Sachs said. Thank you, Amy. This is what Gary said. So cold here in Michigan. I want blue eggs and a Michigan brand ham for my Christmas dinner. Bernie said it was so long he was starting to get worried about me. Thank you, Bernie. That's what should be said. Got it. Thank you, everybody. So that was a good comment there, Gary. And thank you, Amy. So here's the point. If you don't win a Michigan brand ham through our Wednesday Night Live, I would encourage you to just buy one. I know. I know. Go to the website. I'm asking you to buy something, right? Go to the website, michiganbrand.net. That's michiganbrand.net. Use the promo code Mike20 and get 20% off the entire order. And I'll tell you what, you buy a ham and you buy some hunter sticks and you buy some jerky and some Avery hunter sticks, it's going to add up, and get 20% off is a big deal. So go to the website, michiganbrand.net. That's michiganbrand.net. Use the promo code Mike20 and get 20% off. Also, if you're not interested in a ham, but you just want to learn more about Michigan brand products and where you can find them in your area, because Michigan brand started on the east side of the state, and now they moved out throughout the entire state of Michigan. Thank you. The best buzzer yet, Captain Jim says. He's my buddy. It's coming down hard again now, Johnny. Geez, Johnny, you're not getting a break. It is only mid-December. Feels like mid-February, doesn't it? If you go to the website, michiganbrand.net, and you put in your zip code, there's a store locator button, and it'll tell you what outlets near you carry Michigan brand products and even what Michigan brand products they carry. Because there are so many different SKUs from Michigan brand that not every store carries everything. So michiganbrand.net, that's Michigan. Yes, John, go there. Yes, do that. Go to the website, michiganbrand.net, use the promo code Mike20 and get 20% off your entire order. And once again, Nick Grillo, thank you, my friend, for your generosity, your support of Outdoor Magazine, your support of Mike Avery Outdoors, your support of Wednesday Night Live. You're a great guy. The Grillo family are wonderful people, and we think Michigan brand is a wonderful Michigan company. michiganbrand.net. That's michiganbrand.net. True, the furniture behind me did move. I think I do know what you're talking about, Ross. I just got a real nice picture of my grandson Trent with a really nice doe, and I will post the picture later. So congrats, T-Man. Let me respond. Congrats, T-Man. Nice job. Okay, so let's move on to some other things. The weather. The weather seems to be a huge topic of discussion right now, and rightly so. I mean, how long has it been since we've had a full-blown winter in mid-December like we have right now? Lots of snow, lots of cold winter. I'll get to it, Paul. Lots of winter weather. If you like to ice fish, I think you're going to be I think you're going to get an early start this year. Looking real good there. Before I talk about the show rundown, let me talk very briefly about some anti-social media once again. Justin, hey, buddy, how are you? Justin Tomei, our friend from MUCC, who I have much, much respect for. I'm telling you what, there's never been a guy I have worked with who was more in tune and in touch with the political scene and behind the scenes in Lansing than Justin Tomei. Justin is the real deal. Real deal. Ross, passing on many bucks down here in Ohio on the lease. Coast Guard, this is interesting. I wonder, Ed, why the Coast Guard would call for this. The Coast Guard is calling for 150% of annual snowfall. How would the Coast Guard have anything to say about that? Huh. Okay. Couple of things real quick. when I posted the picture of my Brenton 350 Legend AR-15 suppressed on a tripod over in a food plot for the opening day of muzzleloader season, I expected some interesting comments because I put in quotes muzzleloader season. I did not expect some of the idiotic comments like, a real sportsman would still use a muzzleloader. Well, if a real sportsman still wants to use a muzzleloader during the muzzleloader season, they can. You can. Me using a 350 Legend during the muzzleloader season does not negatively impact your muzzleloader season. And then also, I posted a picture of that big doe that I shot, and that was my goal all along. My goal this season was never to shoot a buck because I knew I would not see a buck big enough to shoot. So what I was trying to do is shoot a big doe for the freezer, and that's what I did. So I accomplished my goal, and I'm very happy. So I posted a picture of the doe. And then, of course, I get the comments, why do you shoot a doe? Why don't you shoot a buck? If you shoot a doe, we're not going to have any deer for the future. It looks like a fawn. I mean, just really stupid, uneducated comments. And my point on bringing this up is I used to think our biggest threat in the hunting world was the anti-hunters. I don't believe that anymore. The anti-hunters are indeed still a threat, but they're out there. We know who they are. We can see them. They're pretty open. They're not trying to hide their agenda at all. You know what they're doing. Or being called a moron. Yeah, I was called a moron. Thank you for that, Paul. I think the true threat to hunting today is from our fellow hunters. This infighting, this lack of supporting each other, the anti-social media comments, the you shouldn't do it your way, you should do it my way mentality. I honestly think that is a bigger threat to the future of hunting, in particular deer hunting, especially deer hunting, than the anti-hunting movement could ever be. I'm serious about this. And it really, really concerns me, and it makes me mad because there's no reason for it. There's no call for it. No call for it at all. Yeah, Johnny, but it's not just the trophy hunters. It's the everybody. It's the anti-crossbow. It's the anti-AR-15. It's the anti-doe shooters. It's the anti-big buck shooters. It's the anti-yearling shooters. It's everything. Why do we fight so much? Why do we fight so much? And when we do that, it makes us look foolish. It makes us look divided. It makes us look fragmented, and it makes us look weak to those anti-hunters who would love to take away our way of life. And I don't know how to stop it. I can't stop it. If I could stop it, I would. Okay, let's talk a little bit about who's coming up on the radio show this week. My first guest this week is angler Marty Saliga. Marty has started his aerial flights of Saginaw Bay doing his ice reports. He's a good guy. He's a great guy. He has a great service to Saginaw Bay anglers. We talk about why he does it and the logistics of doing his ice fishing reports. Then Jason Graham of Linwood Beach Marina joins me. And he runs ice charters on the bay, Linwood Beach Marina and Send It Charters, senditcharters.com. We talk about his ice fishing operation and how that works. In hour number 2, a very interesting conversation about wolf hunting. Not in Michigan, but in Ontario, specifically White River, Ontario, Canada. Daryl Godden, a wolf guide up there, and I talked for 2 segments about why hunt wolves, how do they hunt wolves, his success rate is very high. If you want to book a wolf hunt with Daryl, send me an email, mike@mikeaveryoutdoors.com. That's mike@mikeaveryoutdoors.com. And I will give you Daryl's phone number. I'm not going to post Daryl's phone number. I'm not going to put it out over the air because you can imagine what it would lead to. So if you're serious about wolf hunting and want to learn more, send me an email, mike@mikeaveryoutdoors.com. I will put you in touch with Daryl. Then Angela, and I have a hard time with her last name, Kujawa. There, I got it. Angela Kujawa of the Michigan DNR talks about the December elk hunt that's starting this weekend. They're going to have some snow to deal with. And the Ask Avery segment this week deals with otters in the pond. Mike Ryback sent me an email to Mike at MikeAveryOutdoors.com. And he says every once in a while, their pond will get wiped out. Come springtime, there's no carcasses, there's no dead fish, but all the fish were gone. He said, could it be otters moving into the pond and wiping them out? So I talked with the chief fisheries biologist for the Michigan DNR, Randy Claremont, and he said, absolutely. Absolutely. He said they have problems with otters getting into their rearing ponds, their stocking ponds, and doing that. So yeah, he said definitely that can be a problem. And the only way that you can eliminate it is to either, well, what they do in the ponds at the hatcheries is they move the fish inside. You can't do that at your pond, or bring in a trapper. And oftentimes, by the time you realize there's a problem, you get in touch with a trapper comes out and sets his traps. They've moved on. The otters have moved on. In our third hour this week, Matt Schock, who was on here earlier, Coyote Matt Schock of Last Call Predator Hunting. He's Coyote Matt Schock on YouTube. We talk about coyote hunting, predator hunting in Michigan, and we wrap it all up with wild game chef extraordinaire Dixie Dave Miner. Also today, I recorded a Killer Food Plots podcast with Rich Krazan of Killer Food Plots. My son James joined me on this podcast. We're talking to Rich about our food plots on the lease property. They did not produce this year. We think it's because of the terrible drought that happened right after James put the seed in the ground. Also, we think they are overbrowsed. We did not do this. Somebody made a really good suggestion. Johnny, you're not going anywhere yet. You got to hang in here for a couple more minutes. Putting a little cage around the one, square foot, 2 feet, 3 feet of the food plot to see how much it's actually growing, to see how much has been browsed. Good conversation with Rich. You'll hear that tomorrow. I will post that tomorrow. KillerFoodPlots.com. That's KillerFoodPlots.com. Oh boy, Paul's getting ready to leave. Johnny's getting ready to leave. Ed says, I think we're going to have Rich in the spring to tour our property. Same thing with us, Ed. Same thing with us. Rich is going to come over, take a look at the property. We're going to do a whole series on the process. I'll shoot some video. We will do some podcasts. We will do some radio conversations. And we will document this whole process of working with Rich on tweaking the food plots. And this is, this isn't me. This is James. James does all the work and he enjoys it. I'm just there for moral support. But we'll see where that leads us. I'm very, very excited about it. Frost seeding, according to Rich, Stephen, is actually something better done in the springtime when you get a freeze-thaw cycle. All right. Oh, I forgot to, again, who won our ham? I lost my sheet. Gary won it. Gary, congrats to you, buddy. All right, my friends, I think it is time indeed to wrap up this edition of Wednesday Night Live. How do we do it?
Beguile every fish that you catch, every heart you embrace brings us closer to nature's grace.
All right, my friends, thank you for joining me on this edition of Wednesday Night Live. My name is Mike Avery. The website, MikeAveryOutdoors.com. The email address is Mike at MikeAveryOutdoors. Thank you, Nick Grillo, for your generosity. Ham for the holidays. Congrats to Gary. MUCC.org. MUCCA.org. Even though we don't hear as much about them these days, it's still a very viable, very strong organization. And listen, membership counts. MUCC.org. Have a good night, my friends. I'll talk to you next time right here on Wednesday Night Live.